What's up? Rhys Haines, aka KingXstitch, on a podcast with me. How you doing, bud?
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. I'm good. Thanks for coming on. I was really excited about this, especially speaking to your brother. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh,
then,
what an episode that was.
cheers,
I
man.
wasn't for it.
That was, and then he just said, "Yeah, listen, get my brother on." And I'll be honest with you, I was thinking about it anyway, but I was just like, "Yeah,
Mm.
for sure." I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I've been
That's what.
following you. So, well, your acoustic, well, when you were doing indie music, I was following you then when you were just kind of doing that.
Nice,
So
nice. I like that. Nice.
yeah, what was the whole change? Because I spoke to your brother about it briefly, and he just said
Yeah,
that you were putting a lot more into the rap music than
yeah.
you were the indie.
I mean, because I had literally just moved up to London from Wales, about to study a drum degree, and I had been like doing indie shit like for ages in like those little school concerts and stuff like that. Because obviously I didn't really have a lot of places to gig, and I did a few gigs here and there as a band, but with the solo indie stuff, it was quite new to me, and then. After I had released my first ever EP, my indie EP, entitled "It Won't Be So Bad in the Morning," which just couldn't be more indie, could it? Shocking, but yeah. So I released that, saw quite a bit of success from that. I believe my best track is called "Go" on it. It has, I think, 13K something like that streams now, and like for a lad who was like 16, 17, oh my god, I felt like an absolute king, but. Yeah, but then when I came to London, I did some shows and like some indie shows, and I was like, yeah, this is still good. But even like despite all of that, like I still started listening to more rap stuff and more like underground stuff, because like over the summer holidays and all this stuff, I had some downtime. I was with like my best mates in Wales, and they're all massive Suicide Boys fans and Ghostmain fans, like all this heavy underground stuff. So I came up to London just listening to that, but then performing, that'd be completely different.
Yeah,
And um, I remember like saying to the boys over summer, I was like, I want to play a named venue by like 1 year's time of being in London, and they were like, that's quite a heavy goal. I was like, yeah, but I reckon I can do it. So I established myself as the indie artist to the best I could in my area, like playing in clubs like Shoreditch and stuff like that, those lower end ones. And then eventually the O2 came round, which I know you
yeah,
and Lloyd spoke about, yeah,
yeah.
which was
Literally, your last one, and then you switched up.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no. Because this is what I'm saying. Though. People are like, why the hell would you have stopped if you're on such a good path to even get to the O2? But I was like, at the end of the day, like, what's the point if you aren't completely happy with what you're doing? And I'm saying that as I wasn't. The O2 was the best night of my life, hands
Yeah,
down, best night of my life. I mean, I had like friends from Wales, family from Wales, people from London who I had met. Like, I didn't see them for the whole day, and then I just walk on stage, and they're all there, and I'm just like, fuck, this is mad. Yeah, but yeah. So then after I played that show, as I said to my brother, I was like, yeah, this is my last one. When I started playing him my rap stuff, his reactions to it were just so much more like just not so much genuine, but just generally more shocked. I think because with the indie stuff, it would be very much like, oh yeah, that's a nice melody and all these different aspects of the music. Whereas with my rap stuff, it was more like this is
yeah.
insane.
High energy.
Oh yeah, energy flows. Like any beats I'm making, it's just so much more fun to make. Because like even though when I was doing indie writing, that I get quite pumped if I had like a really good riff going or something, but it doesn't compare to when like I'm writing lyrics, I've just blasted out a mad verse, and then I'm listening to it, I'm like, yes, this is it.
Yeah,
Like you generally just can't beat it. But yeah, no, the the change was very how can I kind of say this? Sort of worrying, to be honest, at first, because obviously I had established myself as an indie artist, and across social media platforms, that's who I was. I was an indie artist. And then I remember my debut track, "Blinded by Faith," which already just sounds way more darker than
yeah.
like it won't be so bad in the morning. No, "Blinded by Faith." I was like, what? And I remember announcing it on Instagram, and some people were like, "Oh, whoa, right, okay, this is like different." But then others were like, oh, so like, is it like more of like a sad song? And I was like, I
I'm
mean,
fucking going
song,
for
yeah,
it.
song is kind of a push. Like this isn't music. This is just noise to you. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, I actually lost quite a following really. Because obviously I'd made the new Spotify page and like I had like good monthly listeners for my indie stuff, and I was expecting like probably some dip, but fucking hell, I literally went back to square one. Like I had spent these years as an indie artist, like gaining traction where I could, working on promo in the indie scene, and I thought I could take some of the momentum, but generally like it did flop, and I was like, right, okay, well that wasn't, it was kind of expected, but now I get a chance to rebrand and to set myself within a certain niche. So I was like, right, well, this underground scene, it is a very defined scene. Yeah, it's quite a broad term because of these different styles and all this stuff, but it's like in terms of indie and rap, it's like a much smaller one. So I was like, at least now I can have the experience of performing, the experience of writing and studio work, but now I can just try something new with getting in. Just getting in the face of all these people who may not have heard of me or have heard of me and still support me, because like, I mean, I'm saying this, there are still some amazing people, like proper day one people who, even though they don't really vibe with my stuff anymore, they will still like shout my stuff out like on their Insta stories and just wish me the best and all this stuff, and I really rate it.
Oh,
But
that's
then obviously
class.
obviously the flip side then is that I have had messages where it's like, well, you used to make music and now you just, I don't know, like shit. I'm like,
Oh,
oh.
fuck you. Like, what the fuck,
I'm like,
man?
I'm enjoying myself. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. What the fuck? Like, imagine just going out your way to message somebody like,
Yeah, yeah,
fuck me.
yeah, yeah. I
That's.
had them, but it was actually quite funny. Yeah. So basically, this this new track, "I'll Sleep and I'm Alive," my latest track, is doing quite well in Russia, because I
That's
know
class.
it's mad to say, but that kind of niche is like where it kind of bangs. And I had a comment on a post about it, and I was in Russian, and I was like, okay, well, I can't even translate that because you'd have the keyboard and everything. So I was like, I like copy and paste into Google, and I was like, right, okay, I'm hoping they're like saying, they vibe with it, and it's literally, this is so shit. Like,
Oh.
and I was like, come on, man, oh, come on, like even in Russia. But then on the flip side of that though, like there's always good and bad, and on the flip side of that, on YouTube, I had someone comment, I'm so glad I came across this video, greetings from Russia, and I was like, yo, that's quite mad.
Yeah.
I was like even if it's one person that is so far away from me has just like listened to my stuff and been like, yeah, this is good. Like, I have more respect for that than anything else.
Yeah.
I have.
I get that because with the podcast as well. I remember there's someone who's downloaded every podcast from Washington, Virginia, and
Yeah,
they're like, I've said it in a few podcasts, like, come on, try and get in touch with me. I'd love to speak to you.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
remember that first time I seen it, I was like, right, oh fuck, I'm big.
Man's famous,
I know.
Mr. Worldwide.
I'm big. I'm big in Washington, Virginia.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
that's
No,
just,
it
yeah.
is.
So
It is so amazing seeing those insights and knowing where like stuff's being played. And there's sometimes as well you can kind of like gauge who it is, because especially in the music sense with Spotify for Artists, you get like so much of that like city plays, not just country plays. So for
yeah,
instance, like I have family in Australia, places like France and that, and I could see like the one or two plays it had there, and I was like, I think that's my cousin. Big
yeah,
up. I was like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Amazing.
I get like I've got like a massive following in Islington and Maidenhead, but I don't know anybody from
Oh
there.
yeah.
So it's just like what like two random places to get a following. So I was
Yeah.
like I genuinely don't know anybody there. I was like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
fuck it, you're on this ride with me.
You ever just walking in the street? Oh my God, it's Max! Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I'm just fucking walking into Islington.
Love
It's
that.
him. It's him.
Oh, that's jokes. That was
uh,
mad.
but yeah, it's fucking cool, isn't it? Like just looking at where people are listening, and then it's like, how the fuck did you get like a hold of that? like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like it is quite mad to think that something you have produced yourself in like your own time, even if it's like just in your bedroom, like all of my tracks are like, I made them all in my bedroom and stuff, and it's just like to see it being played and loved by people, like not just in my circle, like not just friend in rugby, because there's no better feeling than just seeing all that and then thinking I've made mad connections with someone from Russia or France and
Yeah,
I'm just boy. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's class. It's just one of those things that you just like, it makes you want to do more as well. It's like, oh
Oh yeah.
fuck, you
Oh
like,
yeah, 100%. 100%.
because like
Like
I haven't put, sorry, I just gonna say that like I haven't been as sort of active this week, and you
yeah.
kind of get that sense because I was pumped all week to do podcasts, and it's just one thing or another really. People busy and myself, so you know I had podcasts set for this week, but I was just like didn't do them. But I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. And then you popped up, and I was like, I saved the week, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna be
Yeah, man. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
And I
The
just get
main
pumped.
attraction.
Yeah, for sure. This is my equivalent of Joe Rogan and Post Malone.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. And I know Lloyd's listening to this. Fuck
Yes.
you, Lloyd. This is yeah.
Oh, Lloyd's Elon Musk.
Oh yeah. Honestly, my favorite thing of that Elon Musk thing was when he was with Joe Rogan and he had a hit for the first time,
Oh gosh,
and
yeah.
there's just that meme where he's like, oh,
Gosh, yeah.
oh
But
no, amazing.
yeah, like you just get a real buzz, and like it's kind of like the day after you upload one. Like I'll just check to see where it's at in terms of downloads and stuff like that, and
Mm.
it could be like 2 downloads. It's not, but like if it was 2 downloads, I'd still be just as pumped, really.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like it just makes you want to go on and do more. So yeah, I get what you mean with that. Like
Mm.
it's something to add. Like oh, I want more people to listen from there next time. I want to see
Yeah,
if you get a bit more of a following.
yeah.
See, absolutely. But I'm gonna say your new single,
Mm.
"I'll Sleep When I'm Alive." Congratulations, buddy. I really like it.
Thank
Big
you,
fan.
bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's the response has been mad. To be fair, I mean, I feel like in terms of the streaming platforms, I've actually been able to take the hype from SoundCloud now on to Spotify because, as I said, I had to go back to the drawing board. So I was the stereotypical SoundCloud rapper for like a month or two with Blinded by Faith coming out because that's nearly on like 10K or something. Because
That's amazing.
that was scary. The scariest thing was watching it. I believe like 9K
Yeah,
in like 1 or 2 days, and I remember watching it with my friend Evan, who's part of the like team, the rap team, and the brand, and like we were both just at our laptops, just like watching this number go up, and like we were shitting ourselves, like because it was so mad. Like anyone else would be like, oh yeah, I was obviously pumped. I was going like ape, but I was still watching it like, why do these people care? Like why are you listening to this? Like, but then like I mean I then said to myself, well, you know what? Maybe this does go to show that I can make good music. So from that home of Spotify and getting those numbers up, and now I'll sleep on my live just hit over I believe 1.2K, and it's still growing as we speak, which is quite mad. But yeah, I'm so genuinely like happy with the response rate because a lot of people have said production wise it's one of my best ones. Flow wise, there's some really good patterns in there which like people can really like bop their heads to. And yes, sample wise, even I've had some comments being like, because I'd like to use a lot of like audio like samples which I've like cut and put together, and like because I
yeah,
was on the intro of that track, there's that young girl calling 999, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use this creative way, and then bang, come in with like with that hook, and it just worked. It's quite mad to be
yeah.
fair.
I remember what song was it again? It was the one after. It was Lucifer's Crown,
Lucifer's
and
Crown, yeah.
you popped that video on Instagram, and it's from, I believe it's from a film, and she fucking jumps like that. I was like, oh
Yeah,
fuck! I was like, oh
that, yeah,
shit! Did
that,
not
yeah.
expect to see that on my feed.
Yeah. Well no, because the way that happened was so once again I was sample hunting. I was like, right, what can I use? What can I use? And then I was like, so this song is going to be a hard hitting one. So I was like, I want to have something eerie at the start like to like set the theme for it, like this whole like dark religious aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's from The Omen. With the scene, obviously, is where Damien, the young boy who is essentially Satan, um, the nanny sees this, and at his like birthday party with all these guests around, she just goes up on the roof and
Yeah.
shouts what the opening thing is: "Look at me, Damien, it's all for you," and then
Yeah.
obviously jumps.
Yeah.
And
Fucking.
the only reason, I know it's fucking heavy, man. It's fucking heavy. But the only reason that video was made then though was because I had all the audio done and the beat came in, and then I took it to my best mate's house, Evan, as I said, who's part of the Idol Idlers team, which is the rap label and the brand.
Yeah.
Because he handles all the visual stuff. Everything visual is done by him, so I know I can trust him with it. And he went, right, I've made a teaser like thing for you, as you said. I was like, right, okay, so let's watch it. He, he had. I mean, anyone can go see it. If you want to go see it, check it. Because, like, we had to put a warning in front of it because I
Yeah.
was like, I'm hoping that this won't get taken down, so I'm gonna cover my back. So I said like viewer discretion, and then he just showed me it, and as she fucking jumps and the rope,
You
like
start spitting.
I start fucking spitting, bro. He was mad.
That's-
Oh, generally, I was watching it, and as she jumped, I was like, "Fucking hell, that is mad." But he just sat there and like, "It's good, though, isn't it?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah. Obviously, it's good, but oh my god." And then I had people sharing it on their stories, but then some of them, because obviously everyone has different followings, and I remember some people were like, "Oh, trigger warning," like first, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fair enough," yeah, because if anyone clicks on that, and they're just like, "Yo, what?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Because
fucking mental.
I'm pretty sure the first time I watched it, I only seen the bit where she jumps off. I didn't actually then proceed to listen to it afterwards. I didn't realize you were promoting a new single. So I just scrolled up, and I was like, "Fucking hell, man! Rhys is Rhys is on one." And I was like, "Am I gonna have to message Lloyd?" I was like, "I've just seen because I didn't see like Lloyd had liked it or commented." So I was like, "Fuck, this." I liked it. Walked on. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to message Lloyd about this. I'm a little concerned."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no,
and then I
you sound
listened to it again.
smackhead on your
Yeah.
podcast.
And then Lloyd shared it again, so I was like, "Okay, so what's
Yeah.
this all about?" And then he starts spitting. I was like, "Oh, right, makes much more sense now."
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, but this is what I mean, and that's what I feel has to be done in this type of scene. You really have to pull the audience in for some reason that they don't know, and then all of a sudden give them the products. That's why I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, look at this weird thing." I was like,
So yours is like movie quotes, and Future is coughing
yeah,
before every song. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Love
But
it.
so in terms of, so you're saying that you had to like kind of restart with kind of getting the following, and you basically starting from scratch. Was it easier in the sense of because you'd done it all before and maybe at a younger age with like less opportunities, whereas now you have more in that sense? Of
Nice.
yeah, so I was just saying, was it a lot easier for you in the sense of having to start again because you'd done it all before and you're like, okay, and possibly because it was more of an enjoyable experience with the rap music? Was it a lot easier to kind of just start again than the first time?
Yeah. Like, well, especially in terms of the understanding of what it takes to be an independent musician, because I had a lot of principles from my indie phase where I managed to bring them over. For instance, one thing I realized was that um, small little aspects really, that like audience interaction is very key. So I remember when I was in the O2, one thing that I was really happy to hear was that even people I didn't know were saying, they were like, yeah, my audience interaction was the best, and I was just an opening act. I wasn't like the main one, and even with her, apparently, like, just be on stage and just doing your thing, and then you walk off. Whereas I walked on and was like, how's everyone doing, and played all this stuff, and then I was cracking jokes left, right, and center, like on my I think it was my second from last song called I Need a Cigarette, which is like an indie tune. I remember I was getting so into it, and people were like vibing and singing along with it, and then my dad's fiance threw up a fag on the stage, and I picked it up and was like, I got a cigarette, and everyone was like, it was so class. But yeah, like I mean, that type of thing. When going back to the start, I had to kind of think about how I am going to approach it, because I haven't actually played a rap show yet because of this whole Corona bull, which is so very annoying, because all I
Yes.
want to do right now is be promoting singles by playing them and just going ape and
Yeah.
like testing it out. Because I mean, the way I was talking in my indie like shows and like being all like this and like all like jokey and stuff, I feel like that's one thing that's kind of been a hurdle for me in terms of rebranding and going back from the start, is understanding what the persona has to now be.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, as a person, I'm still the same. I have the same morals, same work ethic. But when you have this persona, especially in the rap game, of being an underground artist or anything like this, like if you look at Ghostman when he's on stage compared to his interviews, it's like, he's just such a chill guy, but then on stage he's an absolute nutcase.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've had to learn from this whole rebranding. But I'm gonna be honest though, in terms of writing songs, putting aside time to work on your craft, promoting it, really just also just listening to it and seeing what you've created, what you could do better, like get new people to listen to it for you. All of those principles are exactly the same. Like
Yeah.
they all are, because I mean, I feel like even though music is such a broad term, it does ground itself on the different genres, with them all kind of relating to each other and all, just kind of doing the same thing. But yeah, as a saying that though, like rebranding, I wear a bandana now, and that's kind of my look. Whereas before I was in all like baggy clothes and just like had like all these nice like bits of jewelry on, and I'm just like, nah, fuck everything. I'm just headbanging.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
So that's
But
that's
yeah,
that's really
I
cool.
think I think I'd say though, I wouldn't change anything that's happened in my music journey right now at all. Like literally at all. I mean, I feel like I probably pissed off a lot of people by dipping from the indie scene after doing what I did and where I played, because obviously I understand like that's because it was a dream of mine to play it, and I know like someone would have seen it and been like, oh, I can't believe he's playing that. It's all in the greater scheme of this whole rebrand. But yeah, it's something that I genuinely will think I will have no regrets about, and I'm saying this now. Before I've played a show, I've been doing this in this genre for less than a year. I'm saying I think this was probably one of the most smartest and beneficial choices I've ever made in my life.
That's amazing. But you're backing it, and you know it and you feel it, and that's what's
Oh yeah.
important.
Oh yeah.
Like you're not going away from it and thinking, oh geez, like
Mm.
I hope this doesn't backfire. You've like left it and you've gone, right, yeah, that this is it now, and
Oh yeah.
this is really this is really what I've wanted and maybe what I've needed to get out of music. So hey, kudos to you for now just kind
Oh,
of
thank you,
backing
man. Yeah.
yourself. And
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's a bit of a jump. Like you're saying you're playing in the O2, you're kind of establishing yourself now as this indie artist, and now you're saying, right, well, okay, this isn't for me, and I'm gonna. Well, it takes some,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, as we spoke to your brother about it as well. They're doing things that they don't really want to do, but because it's comfortable and it's
Yeah.
secure, they're
Oh,
doing
very
it.
much
Yeah,
so.
so
Yeah, yeah. Not like if you want to do anything in life, you need to really just disregard comfort zones.
yeah, for sure. And this
So much,
Yeah, this is it for me. Like, this was always something that I was a bit like, oh, geez, like, everybody says I talk a lot and I'm good at talking and I ramble quite a bit. But I was like, it'd be one thing kind of letting everybody else hear me ramble, but now
Yeah.
I've done it and I'm glad I've done it. I'm really happy with this. So I get you on that. And
Yeah.
it just, when I spoke to your brother, it really opened my eyes about like the amount of people that I now know as well who are doing things that they're just doing it because it's the safe choice, not necessarily what's best for them in terms of mentally and emotionally. So it's, whilst you get paid quite a bit, you're not necessarily doing yourself favors, and
Yeah. Like I really do believe if you aren't happy in anything that you're doing, I feel like you can always change like what it is that is making you feel this kind of underwhelmed on your podcast episodes. Like, there's very few people who I've listened to, like, and who I know that can have this kind of passion when they're talking, and you can hear it like through the speakers or earphones you're listening to. Like, you can just hear the interest and the passion like behind this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
even as we're conversing now, like, and that's something that a lot of people are scared to want to like have people think, if that kind of makes sense.
yeah,
I sit here making music, telling myself I want people to know how much this means to me. I want people to hear in the
Sorry there, bro. I lost you for a second. I just lost you for a second
no
there.
worries, no worries. We're back.
Yeah. So we're just saying, you're just on about like overwhelming situations. Is it? Just to say it again, just in case people don't
Right.
catch
So
it.
yeah. So I was saying, yeah. So being in these types of like underwhelming environments where you're like making a product or producing something, and you aren't at your ultimate peak of enjoyment, or even as broad as happiness. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
when I'm making songs, I was saying like I want people to hear what I've made and the flows and lyrics and be like, this guy I'm listening to now is in his most productive and happiest state as he did this. And that's what I really pride myself on, is that one thing like you can hear in my rap stuff compared to my indie stuff, because my indie stuff is still on Spotify under Rhys Haines. And the other day I just decided to listen to it, and you can just like yeah, you know, like as I said, you know, the vocal work's alright, production's right, but like when you listen to my new stuff, it's just so like there's just so much more passion and
yeah,
like energy. Yeah, there's a lot more noise. Don't get me wrong. It's loud. You know, you can still hear the absolute passion and energy that I'm putting into this. And I feel like if you aren't in any type of situation in your whole life where you actually can put that type of energy and passion into something, then I would suggest you go find something to do, because it is honestly, there's no better feeling than like planning something out, getting it done, and then seeing it do so well, as I'm sure you do with these podcasts. You know, obviously you plan them
yeah,
out,
for sure.
and then when you get the results,
Yeah, definitely.
and yeah,
Yo, what the fuck just happened
yo,
there? Sorry, man. I heard all that, and then all of a sudden I just dropped out. But I'm back.
no, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
back.
no
Yeah,
worries.
no, I get you. Like 100% when you put in all that work. It's like you're on about with planning with me. Like, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have
Mm,
I have literally the names of your singles here, and
yeah,
that is it. And that is it for me. Like, I was actually speaking to people, part of the like podcasting host community thing that got going on. It's really cool to hear everybody's different like
mm,
ways of doing things. Like, mine is genuinely just the things that I need to kind of familiarize myself with again. Just, I know the names of the singles, but they're just there as a
mm,
just in case.
yeah,
Um, But genuinely, my planning is all the like behind the scenes sort of stuff, like just emailing, messaging, finding people. That's where all the work kind of goes into, and this is just like genuinely the fun. Don't get me wrong, I really love messaging people, and I've found a real good enjoyment in emailing people. Like that was something where I was kind of like, oh, I gotta get in touch with people via email and stuff like. But now I've just kind of like, yeah, it's fun. It's kind of exciting to just kind of pop into somebody's DMs and be like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And at worst it's a no, so there's not really much to lose. And then all in that area, then you just get the guest on. You kind of know what you need to know about them, and then crack on and have a conversation. Like I can't work off a what the. Yo, I'm really sorry about this. I'm just having an absolute day this hour.
Sorry, man.
Listen, if COVID wasn't around, I'd have you over, and this wouldn't be an issue, face to face. That's what I can't wait for. I'll just turn this video off for a bit so we get a chance to connect. Turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone. Oh, we're having some real issues here at the moment, guys. There we go. I'm back. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, there we go. Sweet.
I was just literally saying, once COVID's over, this won't be happening because I'll be having people over to do it.
Yes, and I would love to be back on in real life, in real time.
Yeah, for sure. That's the one. Hopefully
100%,
soon we can do stuff like that because it'd just be
you're
10 times better.
Snacks and that.
Yeah. Oh. you mean booze? You mean booze?
Yes, man. We're just vibing there, just talking about the universe.
But no, it's just like this. Like at the end of the day, like people, I'm sure understand that like things cut out and there's technical issues and stuff like that. But it's just fucking annoying because just like no, like it's just annoying for me. I'm just like, oh shit, no.
Yeah, well,
but
course,
at the end of the day, it's not much I can really do about it. In that
it just
sense.
Provides a few twists and turns to the podcast.
Oh yes,
okay, trust me.
Some funky sounds.
Oh my god!
Is it?
I love it. It kind of sounds like my music.
Yeah. Sample it if you want.
yeah, bro. Sample that.
But
that's good.
Yeah, man. It's just good to see that you're like I said to Lloyd. That you can just tell there's just a lot more to your creativity now in terms of songwriting and producing as well. Like you can just tell. Like I love Go in terms of like I really like listening to it, but when I listen to it, all the stuff you've released now in the KingXStitch, you just tell that there's a different energy and a different level to how you producing your music now.
Yeah. 100%.
And whilst, as you said, like loads of people have kind of gone, which, at the end of the day, you're going to gain. Would you really have wanted those people there if they weren't really in for it?
Exactly. 100%.
So, just fuck them.
Definitely, man.
Yeah. But then you featured on a single, Darling Sober Me Up, and you're a little different on that. That's more just kind of a generic rap. But I like that as well. It's like, okay.
Because that was with my good mate and my new flatmate actually, Sean Finch. He's also a rapper. He's from Belfast. Both studying in London, same uni. That's how we know each other. But I remember when I first started talking to him, and like he was also an artist as well, doing like singer-songwritery stuff, and he still kind of is today. But when we both got in the studio together, he just had this kind of way with words in such a sense where it was more of like a story that he's always telling when he does his raps, and any of the songs he does. It was quite amazing to see, because obviously my experience in obviously making these songs like rap wise has just been very like, right, okay, like we gotta be fast, we gotta be aggressive, we gotta do this, and be like so energetic. But he was like, no, 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 like you can still be good and take it down a bit. I was like, all right, okay. So do you want to give me an example? And then I made that beat myself. Jumped on it and was kind of going a bit hard on my verse, and then he was like, just try and do it a bit slower and more like with more melody. And I was like, how would you? It just kind of set everything well. So this song is going to be still an absolute banger, but just a lot more clearer. Let's
Yeah.
kind of say, because obviously there's very little effects going on my voice and his voice. It's just pure spitting.
Pure
Like
spit.
pure spitting, bro. It's like, I mean, because we both like had our topics we wanted to talk about, especially mine being about my old ex-girlfriend. I was rapping about, hence why like when I'm saying all this stuff, I was more like trying to focus more on the lyrics I was saying. And that's one thing that I have had to learn to do as well in all my tracks now, is really fucking say it with like your head, your heart and everything. Just like fucking get the words out and just keep going. So when I was rapping about these like struggles I've had with her and stuff like this, um, I just kind of let it take over a bit and just let it flow. And then all of a sudden, these melodies started coming out, and it wasn't just so monotone anymore. And I remember saying
Yeah.
to him like, "Whoa, this is quite mad." He was like, "Yeah, see." And then when he was doing his, like, he's a natural at it, so he was like doing it in like little to no takes, and I was like, "Fair fucks." But yeah, that on my page, and I'm really happy it's on there because you obviously have my solo sound as that, but then that feature, it's kind of like a nice little interlude in the KingXStitch discography. It's like, oh my god, okay,
Yeah.
mental track, oh, nice one, back to a mental track.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
Yeah, it's just, and it's also just for you like a new way to kind of process your music. Like it just sounds like when you're writing that with him and creating it, you're just kind of learning essentially a new, more methodical way of getting your music
Oh
across,
yeah,
which
100%.
I'm sure just will kind of come into play now with any single that you release, whether it's
Yeah,
with him or not. Like you'll just think, all right, okay,
yeah.
I can think a
No,
bit
thank
more
you, man.
about this. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
class.
yeah, yeah.
But that's like the amazing thing about like music is that you can always just learn in a different
Oh yeah, 100%.
capacity, and like that was it with me DJing. Like I would do it in my way, and then I'd see somebody else do it. Like my good friend Lewis Disson, and he's a like I'm pretty upbeat, but like I'm pretty calm in a booth. Like I'm just like down to business, and I'll like the best you'll get out of me maybe is a nod in the head, or like if
Yeah, yeah,
someone's
yeah,
looking at me, like I'll just dance to them. But other than that, I'm pretty much just focused on it. With
yeah, yeah.
Lewis is like gun finger in the air, looking around
Yeah,
at people
very
a bit more, and it
skanking.
was just I was just
Yeah,
like, how are you like still mixing so well? And like I was just
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
processing it, but it's different for everybody. But you kind of
Yeah, man.
and then I picked it up then, so I was a bit more like dancey with it. I was like, oh yeah, okay,
Mm,
this is much more enjoyable. So I guess for you
yeah.
in that sense, you could kind of look at it like that, working with him as well. Like, oh okay,
Oh,
this,
oh, 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 yeah, yeah, 100%. Because it really taught me that sometimes making like tracks and making songs, you have to be in more of a like a kind of like a chill mode where
yeah,
like there has to be times where you need to just sit back and go, right, sometimes less is more. Like, you can have all these things
yeah,
going on, all these effects, these noises, which, yeah, to some people sound amazing, and in small varieties and small portions, they're very good. But there has to be times in anyone's kind of journey with any arts they're doing, even not arts, where you just have that downtime where you can kind of like take it, just take it down a bit and just allow shit to breathe. Because
yeah,
that's one thing I realized when I was listening to the track after it had been mastered. I was like, it's a really open track. Like you can really hear everything that's going on like
yeah.
really clearly, and the flow's there and it's good. Whereas I know sometimes with my stuff, it's like, well, what was that noise? Like, what? Yeah, you know what I
Just kind of
mean?
stripping it down
Yeah,
and
yeah,
seeing what, yeah. But that's like the beautiful thing, though, is like you were saying, you've got like these like three mental singles and then a little feature where it's a little more, say, relaxed and
Yeah.
very, very basic in itself. Like you haven't got like 12 different things going on at once, but it's still
Mm.
just as good, you know.
Yeah.
But then throughout your music career, I'm sure you are going to switch it up. So not every song's going to be like the same. Let's be honest,
Oh yeah.
because you're a
Oh
very
no.
creative dude. I'm sure you're going to find a way to like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
spice
well.
things up, but also maybe
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
say, okay, I'll just make a simpler track.
Well, yeah, but that's what it's all about, really. It's about bringing new things to the table which people may not have heard before, and that is a very mad thing to try and strive for. Because there's, I mean, just being sat here now, like that term alone is like, well, what are you on about? It's like exactly, like
Mm.
we generally don't know what we're going to make within like the next year or even the next week or something. Like it's just so
Yeah,
mad to think that subconsciously there's like already like 3 finished tracks in my head somewhere, just somewhere, they're just waiting to be made. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's quite mad, but that's what my motivation is.
That
Like
there's
like
always something to go to.
oh yeah, yeah. That's literally my biggest motivation is that even on days when I'm having like writer's block where like I can't really get anything done or anything, I have patience and I have faith in the fact that I know that I'm creative. I know that I can make good bangers, and I know that like as time passes, I'll be able to put my subconscious thoughts and ideas into an actual physical thing, which is so amazing and so calming to think to me anyway. It's class.
That's really mature for someone. Cause how old are you now? You're 19?
I'm 19 in less than 2 weeks, so
So it's not even
it's
19 and
yeah.
you're talking like that. And I'm somebody who the other day a podcast got cancelled, got like
Mm.
really bummed out about it. I wasn't angry. I was just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah,
get it. And I tried to do it on my own and I was just like, nope, I can't do it. I'm not gonna just
yes,
post this for the sake of it. I was like,
yeah,
I know there's
yeah.
a good podcast. But it took me an hour after like trying to like because it took me 3 takes. I was on my third take and I was like, what am I doing? Like
Mm.
if you're just gonna post out something that's very forceful just for the sake of content, you're not gonna get. I was like,
Yeah,
no one's
no,
gonna like this. So I was like,
yeah.
oh, just fucking sit back. You got some cool guests coming. Just let it happen.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
for you, even like I'm 21 and I'm only just starting to think like that. Whereas I know guaranteed if I'd done that 2 years ago, I'd have been like, fuck, like swearing
Oh,
every
yeah.
word under the sun, and I'd be like, I need to do this. I need to do this. It needs to come out, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's I mean, like you can't really rush these types of things because I mean, I've had multiple scenarios where for some reason I've just really wanted to get like a track done in a day, and I've set myself this goal, and then when it doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, like why isn't this working? But then I'm like, I'm not in any rush. Like I'm still a person. I'm still here. I have time, and this is what a lot
Yeah,
of people don't understand. People have a lot of time, and it's about yeah, still keeping the work ethic there. Don't get me wrong. You have to be in it to win it, but like
yeah,
also allowing yourself as a human just time to relax and just see the bigger picture and know that pushing like stuff out there isn't always the
the
best thing.
best thing. Yeah,
I mean, because like I've posted the like sort of out now video for I'll Sleep When I'm Alive, and I haven't posted it on Instagram since because I'm just letting it kind of let's say marinate where like a
I
good
like
chicken
that.
curry. But
Yeah,
yeah, like that's on there. I know that people are enjoying it. That's the last they've heard me for now. That's fine. It's it hasn't been too long. I'm still here working on my other crafts, getting better content in the production sense to then post out, as opposed to just being like, oh, I haven't posted in like 2 or 3 days and I really need to post. I'll just post this photo. It's like,
yeah.
no, you like relax. You don't have to. It's like,
It's not compulsory.
yeah, yeah. It's quality over quantity every single time, and I would much rather dip out of the scene for a few months and then come back with loads more content and all these new songs and all this stuff than just be posting like almost every day, like just really mediocre stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that has no value. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that. Like I'm like that. Like when I speak on my Instagram, just kind of updating people. Like I
yeah,
have said, whilst there is no like kind of podcasts at the moment, like that I am also doing work like messaging people and trying to get
yeah.
people on, and that is obviously better than just me forcing myself to do a podcast on my
Oh,
own.
oh yeah, yeah,
Like
100%.
that is that for me, because I did a podcast on my own and it was really good, but that was because I had
Mm,
stuff to talk about. And
yeah,
then I kind of said, well, that that was good. Maybe if we do that once every month or once every 2 months, but
yeah.
make sure that we've got enough to talk about. So I'm not going to just
Mm.
say once every month, because some months may be a bit quieter than the other,
Of course, yeah,
or there might
100%.
be less going on. But then if I hold it back another month, that's 2 months worth of perhaps news and information that can just spread out to make better content. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I
yeah.
have to be patient in that sense. Like I
Yeah.
want to become somebody like whose podcasts are daily, but I also kind of want to. I'm at that stage now where obviously I'm not massive, but I want to give my guests a chance to kind of flourish with their podcast. Make sure everybody that does listen hears it, downloads it, and obviously for people now who are on your side are going to be interested in it to listen to
Mm.
it as well. So that's just it for me. Is just making
That's
sure that
great.
my
Yeah,
guests really do kind of get the best out of
100%, man.
like a minimal, like it is at the moment, quite minimal in the sense in comparison to other podcasts. But I'm not saying like, oh,
Mm.
I'm minimal. Like that's just how it is at the moment. It's a very
Yeah,
slow
yeah,
start
yeah,
in the
yeah.
podcast.
But that's one thing that like I know you obviously acknowledge that is that you have to look at where you are now and say, where was I 3 months ago? Where was I 2 months ago? Where was I a year ago? Was I
Yeah,
doing this stuff? And like a lot of people can be amazing artists, amazing hosts, and all this stuff, but if they only see the final goal of just being like getting these numbers, because
yeah,
I was doing it a lot, in terms of like really kind of putting myself down if I didn't have a certain amount of streams or a certain amount of likes or anything like this. But I was like, hey, I'm a musician who's trying to make a name for himself. I gotta just allow this journey and kind of, and like, don't. I'm trying to put it into a metaphor, but I'm not that good at those yet, even for a rapper. But but like, just don't focus on the end goal too much. Kind of
yeah,
just know that you are always progressing every single day. Like me, like when I first started doing rap, I was like, oh, I want to be playing to thousands in a rap venue. I want to be traveling. I want to be touring and all this stuff.
yeah,
And when I first started releasing stuff, I was like, well, like Blind by Faith was an exception. That was phenomenal. But after that, then like Lucifer's Crown and stuff, it wasn't doing as good. And I was like, oh no, why? Why isn't this doing good? Like, but then I was like, I have to remember that there's going to be loads of different obstacles, and if I'm just purely focused constantly on numbers and achieving this lifelong goal, because that's essentially what it is, it's a lifelong goal for me.
yeah.
But the key is in the name, it's lifelong. I'm not going to achieve that
In 2 days,
yeah,
in
yeah,
one
literally,
single.
yeah, exactly that. It's a lifelong, not even struggle, it's a lifelong plan with lots of obstacles, lots of hurdles, but lots of amazing results, lots of new connections, new people. I just need to enjoy it and not,
Yeah,
as I said, just
rush
put
it.
all my energy and attention into this ending type of destination. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of a lot of the people who are like very much wanting to get to that final destination are like that because they see. So, for example, like for me, like it would be Joe Rogan. Like he's probably the number one podcast, and just done a 200 million deal
Oh
with
my God, yeah,
Spotify. Like that,
Jesus.
like anybody who's starting a podcast would be like, oh shit, well I'd love that. But then instead
Mm.
of just going, I'd love that, but that's not
Yeah, yeah,
realistic right
yeah.
now. They go, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I want
Mm.
that. And
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, the difference between Joe Rogan and and most other people is that Joe had a lot of other things going on for him. It wasn't
Mm.
just his podcast. He had doing the UFC. So
Yeah.
people in America particularly knew who he was, and his podcast was kind of not like starting from scratch as such. Like he probably had like a couple hundred to start off with, and
Yeah.
it's just become this thing over time as like the UFC's grown and he's become a comedian now and he's getting Netflix specials. He's just grown as a person, and
Oh,
obviously,
100%.
you know, because like a small viewing on his podcast is like 1.4 million or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and you just
it's
think
mad.
anywhere else that's just a crazy figure. But
Mm.
yeah, instead of like worrying about where you want to finish, just enjoy the whole process of
Oh,
working to it,
100%, man.
like you say.
No, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that's obviously like very, very true and very real in the sense that you want to have these idols though as well. Like, for instance, you know, you being a podcaster, Joe Rogan, of course, is going to be an idol. You know, he's
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. But he was once like in these positions too, where he had to make goals for himself and assert himself and ground himself and say, these are the results I want, and I'm not going to stop until I get them.
yeah,
I know it's not going to come tomorrow. Like obviously his kind of success was quite fast, to be honest, because as you said, he had he's a big name in UFC for his commentary. Everyone loved his voice, and now that
yeah,
he's making money off it, that's phenomenal.
yeah,
But like, yeah, it's like everyone who you look up to or I like idolize. They've all been in similar situations to where you are. Some of them even maybe exactly the same. Like
yeah,
my favorite artists all kind of started making raps on SoundCloud, and they had only like a couple hundred followers. But now you look at them after like 10 years of being in the game and still staying true to what they believe in. You know, they're popping off with like millions of monthly
yeah,
listeners and stuff. And it's crazy to think, because if I say that right here right now, in a few years I will have millions of monthly listeners. It's like shut the fuck up. Like
yeah.
what? Like stuff like that doesn't happen to me or anyone I know. No,
It
literally
does.
every single human was in that position.
Yeah,
Like Travis Scott's first show. Um, well, one of them on the documentary on Netflix. I've seen like 3 times. Absolutely phenomenal. He's performing to around like 13 people, and barely any of them are actually vibing with it. And then
yeah,
it like cuts to him in like the Super Bowl, and I'm just like,
yeah.
this is mental. Like, to actually think that if you really put yourself in the position and say, I'm gonna do this, then it's possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there is always going to be that sort of like one song or that one podcast or moment that
Oh yeah, yeah.
does flip it. It does bang. There we
Oh
go.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
traction on this, and then it kind of sustains like the next level. But yeah,
yeah,
people are really looking for it there and then instead of just kind of letting them, as you say, like with the video, you just kind of let it marinate
yeah,
into what it is, and if it blows up overnight, it blows up overnight. Because there's nothing you can really kind of do about that in the sense like on an Instagram post, the best you can really do is add a location and a couple of hashtags, and then
yeah.
if it gets that traction, it gets that traction. That's not ultimately down to you as a person. And
Mm,
people want to just try and control those things, and it's not doable. It just really isn't doable, and get frustrated by things that are really
yeah,
out of your
yeah,
control. Um,
yeah,
and then that's where the decline comes then, and the lack of motivation, and you feel exhausted because you're putting in this work. You think you've been putting in this work and this effort, which I'm probably sure has taken a lot of determination and will, but because
mm,
your mind's after and hunting for quick success and big success, it's not
yeah,
kind of appreciating what is happening. And then it's like, all right, oh, okay, I'm going to give up on this because this isn't. And I've got that experience 100% with DJing.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I got
yeah,
really, I was playing in Walkabout and in the small room downstairs, and I was loving it. But then you were kind of leaving, and I was like, oh, I kind of wish I was. You kind of had like that entitlement, thinking, well, I want to be in the main room instead of
yeah,
thinking, oh, I want to be in the main room, and I'll work to try and make sure
yeah,
that I
yeah,
will. I was like,
100%.
why aren't they listening to me? And then I just had that entitlement then, and then kind of lost the passion. Because
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
go
yeah,
back to right now. When I had my first gig, it was in Tiger on Tuesday night, and there was sod all there, but I still
yeah.
loved it because it was like the excitement of DJing in the club,
Of course,
and
man.
that
Yeah,
was the goal for me when I started. And then all of a sudden, I was just like entitled. I was like, oh gosh, okay, why aren't I
yeah,
doing this? Why aren't I doing that? And because I'm listening to other DJs, like I was like, oh, he's class, or it'd be a case of, I think I'm better than him, but what I didn't understand is he'd been in there for an extra year or two, and he's worked just as hard. And
Exactly.
while I might probably have been a better DJ, at the end of the day, he's worked twice as hard than I have in
100%.
the short space, and
Mm.
he deserves that. Whereas I'm seeing it as that should be me, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
crying like a little bitch, like,
Yeah.
oh, that should be me.
It's not fair. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But that's mean that us as humans,
yeah.
we're very jealous species, very very
Oh,
jealous and very envious,
100%.
and it's. I can't sit here and wholeheartedly say that I do not get jealous. I get so jealous, like whenever I'm seeing people in the kind of niche I'm in with like a less of a following than some of the massive names. So like the sort of up and coming ones. Like I got a lot of respect for them, 100%, because I know the grind they're doing. But at the same time, I'm like, why isn't that me? Like
Yeah,
why is that not me? But then I have to realize that I'm still 18, and
yeah, exactly.
I haven't been in this game for so long to where I should have any entitlement from there. Like I am still new to it, so I mean, I then have to tell myself, look, just have faith in what is to come in the next few years, because that could be you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it is important. Like jealousy, as you say, it's just common. It's normal to be jealous of something or someone. But as
Mm.
long as you kind of give yourself that pep talk, like, right, okay, yeah, I'm jealous, but really moaning and crying about it don't do shit. You gotta go and
Of
work
course
for
not.
it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm happy for them. Just crack on with what you got to do, and
Mm.
you'll be there in no
Mm.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just that case of like bringing yourself back into a reality check of, right, yeah, okay,
Mm.
it would be nice to have that, but we've got to work for it. It's like anything in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a case of not, and then obviously, as you say, like you got respect for those people. So it's important as well that your jealousy doesn't kind of take over then and makes you become a little bit toxic in the sense of now that
Mm.
you're envious of them, and that's a different thing on top where
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
like that's not jealousy, that's the next level where you're hating them because their success rate
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
tend to, because they're doing better than you, and sometimes people are just better than you, but that's not
Yeah.
forever. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
forever.
Everything in this game is subject to change, and you should never, um, take away your morals or see yourself with less value just based on someone else's success. I mean, if everyone was to do that, then no one would be successful ever. I mean,
Yeah,
it's 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 quite a mad thing, really, because obviously, as I said, and as we've been saying, like the instinct is to be like, why isn't that me? Why isn't that me? But at the end of the day, sorry, my microphone. There we go. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, someone being, let's say, like 10 times more successful than you doesn't stop your work being
no,
amazing. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It really doesn't. It's just a case of especially in our industry, it's just like, oh, they have more traction, they have more of a following, they have this stuff. For all we know, like some 13-year-old boy right now could be making the like an absolute mental track, like
Yeah,
something that would blow everyone out of the water, but they may not get that chance to like play it or let it be heard because the industry is so full of all these massive names, and it is literally a
yeah,
fight. But if you have faith, as I said, and keep telling yourself this will eventually get somewhere, then that is what the goal is. Because like with this new track, I really like it. I think it bangs, and I mean, I'm kind of in the mind state now where I'm like, I like my overall goal now is just to get the audience around it and just get more people listening to it. Not even for the streaming numbers, just to kind of have that thought that people know who I am now. Like
yeah,
people have seen my work. They may not have enjoyed it, but they've seen my work. You know what I mean? It's just about having those small goals. Obviously, before then, in your lifetime, like because I could, like as I said, I could turn on the next 10 years and be like, oh, I'm about to play this venue with like a couple thousand people. Like it's slowly but surely. And
yeah,
as I said earlier, you got to understand everyone's been there. No one just like plays Madison Square Garden from going from their bedroom, right? Like
yeah,
you literally have to build it up, and I feel like those who understand that and those who know that will do so much better than the ones who don't and are quite
yeah, for
impatient.
sure. 100%. Because that's like, it's very rare. Like, it's very rare that you just whip out a tune and then bang, you're there. Like the only one that kind of really did that was Justin Bieber, really, but
Oh,
because
jeez, yeah.
he was so fucking young when he did it,
Yeah.
and but that was just someone hearing this kid and was like, oh yeah, okay, there we go. I know for like some top guy in some big end is like, okay, yeah, well, this kid's gonna make millions, we're gonna make millions, and loads of people are gonna fall in love with
Yeah.
this voice.
Yeah.
And then obviously, the rest is fucking history. the guy,
Yeah.
the guy went from baby, baby, baby to now like he's
Yeah. Doing all of his
yeah,
mad stuff with his albums. I mean, that's something I generally do respect. Like, I listened to the whole Purpose album with my brother. We were just driving somewhere, and like I was just listening to it, and like knowing that story of how he was just like growing up busking to where he is now, it just makes the music so much more special. Like, as opposed to just being like music that's just been literally I mean, you still have a banging track, but like just music that's been made simply like with little to no background about it and no kind of like emotion put into it. But all of these tracks I was listening to, like he's just talking about his life and like saying about
yeah,
stuff, and like when I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, this lad has come from singing on the streets with no fans to now growing on the street with getting some fans, getting some videos out, and then all of
yeah,
a sudden he's discovered. And it literally goes to show, like, Justin Bieber growing up was just a random name. If anyone said that to you, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, who's he? Justin Bieber is now a household name
yeah,
worldwide. And I mean,
exactly.
it took time, because I'm not too sure how old he is now, but as you said, he started when he was young, like
Yeah.
really young, and it definitely took him a couple of years to kind of
And he
solidify
was
himself.
absolute marmite, like because
Oh my
it was
God, yeah.
like you either like when he first came out, it was like you either loved him or you hated him. And to be honest, when you're a kid my age, you tend to hate him because it's like fuck this
Yeah,
guy, he's around my
yeah,
age and
I
he's
know,
got
yeah.
the girl that I fancy in school liking him. This
Yeah.
guy coming in, fucking, I want to make a song, and then
Yeah, yeah, literally.
I sound like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's really, really mad, to be honest. But yeah, no, the whole Justin Bieber hype was, oh my God, absolutely
I've
insane.
never seen anything really like it. Really.
KingXStitch bed sheet covers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. Come in 2023, bro. I'm telling you. No, but like it's generally weird.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe from the young child perspective, it's like, oh, they have this like celebrity crush, fair enough. But like the fact that on the market you can buy like bed sheets with like like celebrities' faces on it, and like you're like sleeping, and it just
Yeah.
like it. Say now, like some girl brings you back to her house, and you're both adults, and then you just see she's got fucking Justin Bieber bed sheets. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean?
Can we turn Justin round, please? I don't want Justin to be watching.
Justin Bieber
Yeah.
staring at you on the wall on the poster. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Gosh. I'll make it out right on top of Beeb's face.
Yeah, man.
No!
Oh my
He's
God.
everywhere, man. I finally got my school crush that you took, and now I'm back with her 10 years later, and you're here again.
Oh
Fuck,
my
man. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh
That'd
my
be a
God.
hell of a fucking story. Yeah, KingXstitch bedding, just bandana.
Tell you, bro.
Yeah.
Market that.
Is it gonna be really edgy bedding, or is it gonna
Yeah.
be?
Oh my God.
The indie one would be an interesting one, just like little music.
The indie one would probably feel like you're just sleeping in a cloud.
Yeah.
Like it's just so nice. But then the KingXstitch one, it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's like
rugged.
scratchy. Yeah.
Yeah, got like the bed bugs will bite.
Sick name, yeah.
Yeah. No, man, that's good.
Love that.
But yeah, no, it's just the crazy situation, as you're saying with Travis Scott, how you go from like 13 people who are there because they're supporting a friend, and Travis Scott isn't one of them, to now he's like Super Bowl up there.
Yeah.
Everybody's on his new tracks, and
Oh my God, yeah, definitely.
also
It's
I'm
so crazy.
super excited because Lloyd mentioned that you two, and I'd seen it as well a while back when he went to London with you that you'd been recording with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited for that. But
There maybe.
he wouldn't give me
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
on the release. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah. I mean, our studio sessions when they started were quite funny because obviously, he's coming from dance and
Yeah,
I was coming from indie, and then we both found then the sort of same ground with the rap, and like I can't really describe it. Like when I'm in the studio with him, it's first and foremost, it's fucking hilarious. It is so
yeah,
funny working with him. Like it is like because we both just kind of know what like zone both of us need to be in to like work at our best. So we'll make sure that it's a chill atmosphere. You know, like we haven't got anyone disturbing us. Where you know we've like turned off like our phones and we're just on our laptops like doing lyrics and stuff, and then we come back to it. But then when we started doing these like studio sessions more and more, we were like, okay, so we're actually making a few tracks here, like which are quite good. And all I'm gonna say is that you know maybe somewhere down the line this year that you may see a little collab between us
oh,
two brothers. There may be more than collabs. Who knows? But I am excited to show everyone what me and him have been working on because he especially has come quite far recently in terms of
yeah,
his rap production and rapping overall. Because obviously as I said, he came from dance, and he obviously did vocal work on that with kind of like these like hooks and like these like little melodies he's doing. But
yeah,
his lyric writing now and his flows and stuff when he sends them to me, some of them are fucking mad, and like I'm generally vibing with it so hard, and it's so amazing because then I get to listen to it thinking like the fact that I know that he's been working hard on improving like his sound for this, because like everyone has you know those like first tracks where it's like that maybe weak in some aspect. He's sending me, I'm just getting erased, and he's becoming stronger and better in his flows. And
yeah.
I feel like anything we may have in the process will go down very nicely.
Nice, very nice. But will that kind of be Lloyd Haines and KingXStitch, or will you guys maybe collab with a name
Who knows?
like Top Boys?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stitch and friends.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
yeah,
nah, but yeah. At the moment, it's you know, it's as I said, it's still quite
not
early in
yeah,
terms of getting anything out there. So I think that'll be a little conversation we'll have relatively soon, just to you know, kind of establish what we want it to be. Because as I said, we have all the ingredients, we have some things in the process, but it's all about us wanting to know who the fuck are these two brothers? You know what I
yeah.
mean? And how we're gonna get that across. So I'm trusting the process. I got so much trust in him. There's no one I trust more, and I generally think this is gonna bang.
Yeah, yeah, your brother's very talented. Oh,
Oh
both
yeah,
pair of you are very talented in
yeah.
that music end. So it'll be interesting, well, because you'll have your like underground fan base and his like house
Mhm.
fan base kind of coming together.
Commercial, yeah,
Will it
yeah.
be like Nathan Doe and KSI?
Oh.
Oh gosh, don't
Yeah.
promise me not.
Nah, nah, nah.
I love both of them, but that was.
Oh. Mm. The response he got for it, I was so shocked because like I remember what was I was on I was on Twitter and I was just scrolling down and I saw the sponsored post and I clicked on it just to see what the feedback was and literally everyone was saying what the fuck is this,
Yeah,
and like obviously you had the people who were like, oh, this is shit. Then like every now and then I'd read a comment where it was like, why have you both collabed with this kind of production? This just doesn't suit the genres like you both have. And I
yeah.
was like, you know what, fair enough, because it is a
It's a
very,
constructive
very weird
criticism,
track.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like I was saying, like explaining it to my friends last night, like like in terms of Nathan Doe's production and the females' vocals, like that itself bangs. Like I
oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then KSI coming on, I don't know, man. You just released an
yeah,
album with some pretty fucking cool. I understand he's maybe trying to appeal to a new and different audience and see if he can be
yeah.
successful there, but My
But this is,
gosh.
no, but that's it, though, man. This is what
Yeah,
I was saying
trial and
earlier.
error.
Like, yeah, but also let it fucking marinate. He's
Yeah,
literally just released an album, which I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'll say this right now. He had one of the smartest promos for it, but it was one of the most like uh I don't really know how to put it, but it was just so false. Yeah, false. It was simply because I don't know if you remember, there was that trend of him with a bald head going around, and
yes, yes,
he,
yeah.
he said if my album gets to #1, he'll shave his hair and be bald ski and like and all.
Yeah,
Obviously, his main audience is young
YouTube.
teens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know who aren't maybe as mature as some of us. So they were like, oh,
Yes, please.
yeah, we really wanna embarrass him. And in his videos, he looks like he's embarrassed. Oh, get him to #1, give him royalties subconsciously. We won't know we're doing it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's there on fucking camera going, oh no, guys, please don't stream my stuff. Oh, it's like, mate, I understand, right, that you are in this like niche you're in with these like your audience and stuff. But you're
Yeah.
such a fucking wet wipe. Like, shut up. Honestly, you have all these musicians like literally clawing their way for promo, being like, please listen to this, please listen to this,
And then
he's
he's
like
doing
going,
the
oh
opposite.
yeah, it's like, oh,
Don't
I'll
listen to
shave my
it.
head. Don't listen to it, please. Oh my god. Oh,
I can imagine that'd
oh,
be a
it
fucking
was so
grind on you
annoying.
guys. Well,
It
this
was
is the
so
thing.
annoying.
Like, I was like, wow, fair play. This guy's got some pretty fucking cool artists featuring with him. And it's like, okay, this kind of legitimizes his music more. Not saying that I listen to it all and like it all, but I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of a basis, like, it's a pretty, in terms of getting the kind of features that he has, you would assume that's like someone on the top end of the
Oh yeah.
game. And it's just like, well, Jesus, how to promote it that way is a kick in the teeth to everybody else who's not in that same area.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
100%.
so I can understand some gripe towards
Yeah,
that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Fucking,
Definitely.
I've released a pretty decent album, but don't listen to it.
Yeah, it's like,
uh,
shut up. Honestly, just fucking own your shit and stop.
hype your shit and just say listen, because it probably didn't need that kind of promotion as well.
Yeah,
Fucking
no.
KSI, like.
Generally, because like the tracks he's done before have done absolutely amazing, and that's simply because he's plugged it in the right way. But the fact that you're gonna really take time to just backtrack on the whole professionalism stance
Yeah.
and be so like unprofessional and just go, oh, please don't watch it, otherwise I gotta shave my hair. It's like, shut up.
Well,
like, you're a musician, man. Come on.
well, this is the thing, right? That's the type of shit I'd expect from one of the Paul brothers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like
yeah.
that's the type of clout chasing shit you'd expect from one of them, and
100%.
that's the kind of thing that he hates. And then he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to do it." And once it works. I don't think he needed to do that shit. Like you're a fucking big deal, man. You're a pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah.
And you've got some fucking badass features. Just kind of let it be.
Yeah, because that now has kind of tainted it in where when I go on some of his like YouTube music videos now, and I'm looking at them, some people are generally still like talking about it, saying like, oh well, you've really just discredited yourself, and
Yeah.
it's like you have to try and remain professional. Yeah, still have a laugh. Don't get me wrong. You can do funny like types of promo. Like I remember, like a really stupid example is when I had the pre-save link for I'll Sleep When I'm Alive in my bio, and I said anyone who clicks it and like sends me proof, I'll send them like a poppadom in Royal Mail. Like it's just like stupid shit like this, bro. You can say all this stuff to try and like be light-hearted. But if I generally went around doing that, they'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Fucking Papadum or Rhys Haines.
Yeah, I'd be like, "What the fuck?
No,
like, what is
chutney.
this
Fuming.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers whipping Papadums around with their dick. Disgusting. Unpre-safe.
Take my email address back from the mailing list. I don't want to know.
Just close down your whole Spotify account and start again.
Yeah, man.
Fucking
But
pop
yeah,
dogs.
as I said, we're all in the same boat. We're all artists, and
Oh,
I mean, if KSI would be happy to do his promo like that, like genuinely happy, then fair
yeah.
play to him. He isn't hurting anyone, but obviously from our perspectives, it's just
Kicking
a
the
piss.
teeth in that,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like fuck's sake.
This is not how I do it, and this is how nobody
Yeah.
do it, but hey.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying. But next single, though, your picture has to be with you and two poppadoms, now.
Fuck yes, man. 100%. And
Poppadoms,
I like,
cross-arm poppadoms in
yeah,
your hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the same way, you have like pictures of like Drake like holding fucking,
Chef Poppy.
yeah. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like with it, he has like, he has like bottles of Hennessy in his hands and whiskey and shit, and they're like posing. Just catch me with two like poppadoms, like yo, what's up? Oh, mental.
All the dip, all the dip. That's like the name of the single.
Yeah, all man's got dip.
All the dip, all the drip.
Love it. I love it, man. I love
It's
it.
fucking class. Well, we'll definitely get you on again for sure, man. I've had a
Love
real
that,
good
man.
time, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this has been amazing to be on. It's like my second podcast ever. First one was with my brother, and I'm very happy that you have now been the first one under the KingXStitch kind of interview list. So yeah,
it's a pleasure.
Amazing start, man.
Fucking yeah, I'm chucking this on straight away. So once it's all up, I'll send it to you, and you fucking share the shit out of it.
Oh, trust me, bro. I will be sharing that because, as I've said, I've been marinating.
Yeah.
Some good content is about to come. Trust me.
Yeah, that's good. I'm pretty sure you just said as well, if we get this up to 100 downloads, you'd shave your head.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Please don't listen to it. Please don't listen to the podcast.
Don't download it.
Wow.
But I've enjoyed this. I hope everybody who listens to this has had a good crack at this as well. We'll have you on for sure. Maybe I'll have to get you and your brother on at the same time.
Oh, that would be that. No, that would.
And then you have to release. And then you have to release a single. Here we go. There we go. There's a little incentive for you and your brother now. I'll have you both on together when you release a single. Do it next week.
Sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. I mean, me and him in the same room together talking about the similar things. I feel like the world would just like implode.
Oh gosh, Gary V's gonna have like a heart attack.
He really, Gary V and his weird dark rap brother.
He's edgy.
Gary V's edgy brother. That's what I am. Yeah. But man.
Just imagine 100%. Gary V's a super successful entrepreneur, and he's his little edgy brother. And his name's Richard V.
Oh fuck's sake.
Yeah. Have some like fucking proper rock metal band.
Oh, yeah, 100%. As soon as we got something, we'll have to jump on this again.
For sure, man. Well, anytime, really. I don't know. It doesn't have to be anything specific, but I imagine it'd help you out a bit more if you guys release something to talk about and promote. But
I'm very excited for the next one because obviously we can look back on this one and see progression. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That'd be funny. So I shaved my head.
I'm bald now.
Yeah, because everyone listened to it, unfortunately.
I mean, we're filthy rich, but at what cost?
Oh, this 1.4 million house. Oh, what a sacrifice.
Love it, bro. Love it.
All right.